The dense forest canopy shaded the sky with deep green leaves, and sunlight filtered through the gaps, creating dancing specks of light on the ground. In the quiet space, only the sound of birds and rustling leaves could be heard. The Hadzabe hunters silently entered the forest carrying bows, sharp poison-tipped arrows, and their loyal hunting dogs. The hunters carried a strong sense of hope and an earnest wish that today would be a lucky day, where they could hunt a large animal enough to provide food for the tribe for many days. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the hunters stumbled upon a natural waterhole. They stopped, crouched down, and drank directly from the water using their lips without any tools. This simple habit reflected their deep harmony with nature. After hydrating themselves for the long journey ahead, their footsteps became light and skillful, barely making a sound on the dry leaves beneath their feet. Each hunter kept their eyes sharp, paying attention to the smallest signs. Suddenly, one of them stopped and pointed at the ground. Under the layer of decaying leaves, faint footprints appeared. It could be a wild boar or a deer. The hunters knelt, gently touched the tracks, and exchanged quiet words. Time passed slowly. About 37 minutes later, one of the hunters signaled to stop. About 100 feet ahead, a large deer stood still, its head lowered as it grazed on fresh grass. Its brown fur blended perfectly with the dry leaves and earth around it. A heavy silence fell over the space. Strong hands gripped the bows, an arrow was fitted, and the bowstring was drawn tight. The first arrow soared through the air, striking the deer. Startled, the animal bolted deeper into the forest. The Hadzabe hunters and their dogs immediately gave chase, closely tracking its trail. They remained calm, trusting that the arrow's special poison would soon slow the animal down. Carefully, they followed the signs left on the ground, knowing it was only a matter of time before they found their prize. The chase lasted about 40 minutes under Tanzania's scorching sun. With resilient stamina and steady feet, the hunters followed the animal's trail. The hunting dogs ran ahead, their keen senses guiding them, letting out faint barks when they picked up a new sign. The forest atmosphere was tense and filled with anticipation. Finally, under a dense bush, the deer lay motionless. Its eyes remained open, but life had already left them. The hunters slowly approached, their eyes filled with respect and gratitude. One of them gently placed a hand on the animal's body, whispering words of thanks to nature for this precious meal. Carrying the deer back to the village was no easy task. The animal weighed nearly 200 pounds, and the rugged forest terrain posed countless obstacles. The strongest hunter bent down and lifted the deer onto his shoulders. His firm steps pressed into the soft earth and sweat dripped down his forehead, but his pace remained steady. When the hunting group returned to the village, the atmosphere erupted in joy and celebration. The women quickly prepared cooking tools while the men gathered wood and started a fire under the shade of an ancient baobab tree. The Hadzabe people lit the fire by rubbing two wooden sticks together, creating friction until smoke appeared. When the first spark caught, they blew gently until the fire roared to life, an ancestral skill that had ensured their survival for centuries. The process of butchering the deer began. Sharp knives glided through the thick skin, and each part of the meat was carefully divided. The animal's stomach was removed with precision. Inside were partially digested plants, considered a rare and cherished delicacy among the Hadzabe. Some hunters scraped the contents and ate them on the spot, savoring the earthy taste as a symbolic connection to their ancestral roots. Scientific research suggests that the Hadzabe people have 40% more gut bacteria diversity compared to individuals in Western societies, giving them enhanced resilience against certain diseases. They chewed slowly, appreciating the natural flavors and textures, and reserved other stomach parts to make a special soup. As the food was being prepared, the women gathered together, chatting cheerfully. They brought baobab fruits, a staple in their diet. Carefully cracking open the hard shells, they extracted the fluffy white pulp inside, enjoying its natural sweetness. Some women skillfully used the shells as bowls for water or food, demonstrating their ingenuity in making use of every available natural resource. The venison was prepared into two familiar dishes: grilled skewers and hearty stew. The skewers were placed on sturdy wooden sticks and grilled over glowing charcoal. The fat from the meat dripped onto the coals, creating delightful sizzling sounds. The aroma spread throughout the area, drawing everyone closer. The stew, on the other hand, was rich and flavorful, with tender meat blending perfectly with the savory broth. Under the scorching heat of Tanzania's harsh weather, the mouth-watering aroma of grilled venison mixed with the distinctive spices of the wild spread through the air. Alongside the steaming pot of stew made with simple yet appealing ingredients, the atmosphere became warm and lively. The hunters gathered around, cheerfully recounting their hunting trip, sharing exciting and challenging moments. They praised the marksman who had successfully landed the shot, honoring his bravery and skill in their demanding lifestyle. As night fell, the starlit sky stretched out like a sparkling blanket. A large bonfire was lit and everyone began to dance. The rhythmic beat of drums harmonized with graceful steps. In the flickering firelight, radiant smiles shone brightly. The deer hunt not only provided a hearty meal, but also symbolized unity and gratitude toward nature. That night, under the starry sky and the warmth of the bonfire, the Hadzabe village was immersed in joy and the profound connection between life and the natural world.